All right, we've had a lot of questions on how to actually do telehealth, and I have to be honest with you, it is a lot easier than expected. A big portion of this is going to fall on your staff. Your staff has to do a couple of things to make sure that you're busy, just like they do in a normal day, but this is a new process. So what I want to go over is how we're going to use ChiroUp to do telehealth. And a big piece of this is the steps that you're going to find within your newsfeed. And if you go ahead and click on the first part of that, how to do telehealth, you can see the actual 8-step process to make sure that can happen. That 8-step process is pretty simple and laid out. It tells you all the things you can bill out for, the things you can't bill out for, the modifiers you have to use, and also explains the types of codes and the time components that are associated with those codes. Makes it very easy to understand. Keep in mind, we're learning as we go. We've talked to NCMIC, we've talked to some of the smartest people in our profession and assembled this as fast as possible, but we've assembled it in as correct as possible. But make sure you call your state association, make sure you talk with your insurance companies to make sure you can bill out for these type of things. But realistically, this is something that I'm looking forward to now. But now that I look at it, I'm really looking forward to this in the future. There's a lot of times where I think that I can help somebody, and if they can't get into my office, or if they're just somebody that doesn't have time to get in my office, I'm going to start using telehealth for a lot of these conditions, and we can use these simple processes, these simple scripts to schedule the appointments, then also to go through the appointments, and everything's located right there in the newsfeed. If you want a more detailed approach, Dr. Berlesman has put in a lot of hours in the last 2 weeks and has developed a webinar that we're teaching for different state associations. That webinar is right here also. And then you could also go onto the Survive and Thrive page. This is a page we just created. I want to be honest with you. We do everything as good as possible, as perfect as possible. And we'll always make mistakes like everybody else. However, this is something that we put a lot of time in over the weekend to make sure it's something valuable for you. Some people want to do telemedicine, other people don't. Some people, are going to weather out this storm, and they're going to have that one thing they always wish for, which is time. We don't have enough time in practice. So the question is, what can you do now that you have a little bit more time to help gear up and scale things up for when you're back in practice? So there's going to be a webinar created every other business day on here. Take a look at it. A lot of time, a lot of thoughts gone into that. But really the purpose behind today and right now is to focus on telemedicine, because that is something that I think that we can have a great impact on. And we're not doing it to bill out for patients. I mean, obviously that's a side effect. We're going to utilize our time to help our patients, and we can bill out for that. But the purpose of this is continuity of care. That we have to make sure that our patients are taken care of. And if they're not taken care of by us, then unfortunately their conditions could possibly get worse and turn into an acute situation where they need to see other care. So here's what I do, is I actually go back into the patient report section and I'll find a patient. So let's say a sample patient, and what's one that we normally use? Oh, you know what? I'll use the sample account because I know there's a patient that we always use in there. Patient data, and I think his name's Bob. Yeah, Bob Jones. So with Bob Jones, let's say I make a phone call with Bob Jones. My staff schedules a FaceTime audio, or FaceTime video. They schedule a Zoom call. That's what we use, is Zoom. Real easy to use. It's $19 a month. We can use it as encrypted, and they'll sign a BAA with us. So just to make sure that we have a very compliant system for moving forward. But let's say I jump on a call with Bob. What am I actually going to cover with Bob? I need to make sure that I'm providing Bob a value for me taking his time and for me helping him out virtually. So what I can do is I can actually go in and see, what am I treating Bob for? Now, a lot of this is a sample patient, and obviously there's a lot of junk data in here. However, I can see what the most recent condition treated is. I can actually go back into that report and I can take a look at what's in there, and I can see exactly what's been treated, what kind of treatments he's getting in office, and then also all of his exercises. So I can go in and I can modify those things, and as I modify them, then obviously they'll be modified in his app or through email. If I make any changes in here, then I can say, Bob, you know what, you're doing these exercises, we can modify those, and we can maybe do some at-home exercise, and maybe I also want to deliver some PDFs to tell him how to change his posture when he's setting up a new workstation at home. And I can print, I can email, I can send this to his app. Now, that's an okay way of doing things, but realistically, I think there's a better way of doing things that we can actually go right into Bob again. And I like to go into his actual exercise report section. So I'll go right into here and I can see exactly which exercise he has here. And let's say he's doing really well, his pain's going away. I can just slide this on over here and maybe we can actually increase or decrease sets of reps. And then once again, I can print it, I can email it. Probably not going to print that because he's not here in the office. Or if you just click submit, it'll save to his app and he has instant access to that. Now the cool part about this is that I'm big on patient adherence. So I want to make sure that he is able to understand that I'm looking over him. We're in this together to get rid of his pain and discomfort. So I let him know that, listen, I can actually look at your exercise history to make sure you're getting things done. And I can look at his pain level surveys, meaning, Bob, once you get done with your exercise with your app, I want you to go through all the exercise and click on where your pain's at. And I'm going to be reviewing that with you because I'm also going to ask him at the end of 30 days how he's been doing. So I want to make sure that he's getting the most value out of his care. And this is a big piece of the puzzle because if he knows that I'm looking after him and we both have the same goals, then he's going to be more compliant with his care and more adherent to his treatment plan. So this is a way to bridge the gap, essentially. I'm providing him some good content. And then also if I want to go on there and I want to make different suggestions with exercises, I want to add in some different ADLs, I can do that. I can just add them from right here and give him new stuff to do. The cool part about the video is that I could say, Bob, I'm going to send you these 4 exercises. They instantly go to his app and then he can perform those for me. And I can see him do the exercise and I know that he can view them from the app or the email and he can demonstrate those and we can make any modifications that may be necessary. I hope this helps. This is one way that I really think that the future of healthcare is going. I think that there's a lot of things that can be said about telehealth now, but don't think about that as a stopgap feature. Think about this as an opportunity to help communicate with your patients on a different level. And I think that if you think of it like that, then you can hopefully provide value and you can save your patients time and energy. And you can also incorporate this into your normal treatment paradigm so you can maybe have a little bit of edge over your competition in your area. If you have any questions, like always, you can text me, 314-807-4698. You can email me, brandon@ChiroUp.com. If you are not a subscriber of ChiroUp, that is perfectly fine. This is a crazy time that we're living in right now, that we're going to extend trials for however long this virus lasts. We want to make sure that every chiropractor is going to thrive now and is going to thrive when this thing is over. And we're here to make sure that happens. One, for our subscribers, that's our biggest asset is making sure that we're able to provide a service they can use. But even if you're not a subscriber, you know somebody who's not a subscriber and they're having a tough time, we're going to give them access because we want to make sure that everybody comes out of this on top and we're all a little bit stronger in the future. Thanks again. And if there's any other questions, you can look at those videos, you can look at those guides, and once again, communicate with me and I'll see if I can help out. Thanks. Bye.